them flaws. I'm applying pressure like a time's been bought. Put me in the face of danger, still stand, rather go and get better. I ain't going outside. Why is it that for you don't understand? How many times do I have to express that ain't part of the plan? We living life for as long as we can. Smelling like the plane just land. Smoking that boat just reach. Dogtown Beach. That mean another mission complete. Big force, man, essence. I know frankincense and murder. It's a murder. I just put the homie somewhere in the dirt. Then I turn around and put my whole soul in the verse. Try to throw me in the fire.
Well. Welcome back to the channel, guys, and the live streams. We've not done one for like 2 weeks now. It's been a while since we last did one of these, to be fair, in all fairness. Obviously, I've had stuff going on with family and ill, so we've like had a bit of a delay. But we're back. And it's probably come at a decent time as well regarding the international break. Not much Liverpool stuff to be talking about and stuff like that. But without going any further, guys, we are joined by a very special guest today. The first special guest, shall we say, on the channel as well. We've never had anybody join us from outside. We've got Doug from the Dugout Football channel. Welcome to the channel, mate.
Thank you.
Do you want to talk about your channel a little bit before we get going?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for having me. I know we've been trying to sort of get this organised for like the last couple of weeks, and obviously, circumstances, changed that. But no, it is fantastic to be with you and Sean. And yeah, my channel's the Dugout Football channel. I've been kind of sporadically doing content now. Obviously, we're having a little one who actually turned one at the weekend. So yeah, he's one already, which is mental. So yes, I run the Dugout Football channel. It was mainly sort of Premier League, sort of Champions League, but I've kind of now sort of done it sort of to Liverpool content, because obviously I do have a Premier League podcast on Spotify now called the Totally Premier League Podcast. So I'm kind of now sort of limiting my channel to sort of just Liverpool content as well. But yeah, please do check me out on the Dugout Football channel. I know you guys are saying on the road to 5k. I'm on the road to 3k. I think I'm about 13 away or something like that. So please come and check me out.
Yeah, to be fair, like I probably should have put 3k, but I just put 5 just for long goal, keep it going. But yeah, it's great to have you on board, mate. Like I say, we've been trying to get it sorted for a few weeks now, and I'm just happy to finally get you on board and everything like that. I've been watching your content for a fair bit, to be fair. So yeah, I'm glad to have you on. Shauna, you're here with us as always. To be fair, before actually we go any further, this is a bit of a joke, is this, isn't it? Like there's an Englishman, an Irishman, and a Scottishman, like just all together on a podcast. It's like the start of a bad joke, that, isn't it?
There's a joke there somewhere for sure.
Yeah, Shauna, do you want to have anything you want to say before we get going?
Yeah, so obviously, as you know, Martin is not with us tonight. He probably won't be on for a while. Myself and Martin and his Mrs. Gemma went over to London. Adam mentioned it briefly there. We went to a boxing tournament where their lad Toby was meant to make their debut. Unfortunately, there was a horrific. Well, I can't really describe it anything else other than horrific. In the third round or the third fight, a boxer was knocked out and went into cardiac arrest. So we have a link to the GoFundMe for his family and for him. And obviously we wish him a speedy recovery. But Martin is taking a break from the whole thing for a while. It just affected him, and obviously the fact that Toby is adamant on doing the boxing, obviously they're worried about his well-being as well. So it's hate to put a bit of a downer on the mood, but yeah, I just thought I'd explain that.
No, it's fine, mate. It's fine. And as well, guys, we have got like something going on with the memberships. Like, I know we keep mentioning this a little bit, but I've actually had a discussion with a third party, and when I get a bit more information on that, I'll share the details of it. But we are going to start doing stuff a bit more for members, giveaways and stuff. So yeah. Other than that, anything else you want to mention, Sean, before we get going? Is that it? You all right?
We'll just get onto our Facebook.
Yeah.
We're trying to change the name, but Meta being a pain in the hole, but it's Adam Naylor LFC. we're trying to post as much content there as possible, and obviously alert people of our shows. The membership, I mean, we've really struck a nice deal with a third party. We're hoping to do more with them and other parties, and also hoping to have guests on as well as Doug here. So
so Doug, before we go any further, mate, start talking about like the Liverpool stuff. Seano was the one that mentioned to me that you was very much involved around the Sven becoming manager at the Legends game. Do you want to expand on that a little bit and just talk us through how that came about and what actually happened? And did you actually get to meet Sven?
Well, I didn't actually get to meet him, unfortunately. But yes, this is one of those moments where you just think you just sat in your flat. You're sat beside your wife. You're sat beside your family, and all of a sudden you see that Sven Göran Eriksson had obviously had prostate cancer. I had watched the article on Sky News that said he was a Liverpool supporter. Now I knew he was a Liverpool supporter. I did my research, and I think he managed a friendly. I think I remember at Anfield. I think in 2001 against Uruguay. And I think he said then that it'd be his dream to obviously manage Liverpool Football Club. So I'm just sat there with my wife at 10:30 on the I think it was the 12th of January. 12th of January this happened. So basically what happened was I tweeted, let's get Sven to manage the LFC Legends, make a wish come true, or something along those lines. I went to bed that night thinking, right, nothing's going to happen to this. Then I almost immediately woke up I think it was about 7 o'clock the next morning, and that tweet had blown up by, I think it was something about like 500 likes by then, and then it just completely blew away. I had Sky News obviously contacted me to go on speak about it, which I was happy to do. And then I think the next day, I think it was like BBC Radio 5, like it just completely changed everything. Like I didn't even think that it would happen. I thought just do a tweet and see what happens. But to then be basically asked by Sky News to go on there, to go on BBC Radio 5 Live, that was a whirlwind 24 hours for me. And yeah, we managed to obviously get him to get to. I've been I was on BBC Radio 5 Live a couple of weeks ago, just obviously when he passed away, just talking about it as well. So yeah, happy to talk about that moment, which I will always remember. And yeah, I can't believe obviously Sven's gone, which is really, really sad. As well, watch his documentary on Amazon Prime as well, because I did watch that before he passed away, and it was very, very moving as well. But no, still to this day, still can't believe that happened. And yeah, 61,000 fans giving Sven a standing ovation. You'll always remember that.
No, yeah, like we were at the game ourselves, to be fair, and I think it was as we were walking to the stadium. I think you mentioned it to me, Sean, about like about the tweet and Doug and everything like that, like regarding all of it, and I was just kind of like, "Whoa, really?"
I was actually on a WhatsApp group. I had to get rid of it because like iPhone was saying out of memory. And I had to get rid of it. So if I got rid of it and didn't explain myself, guys, I'm sorry. But I knew that the original plan was that we were to all meet up, and it just didn't materialize or whatever. But it was an amazing, really, really an emotional event, and it was just incredible, absolutely incredible. And fair play to you, Doug. It just goes to show that. Social media can be used for good, and that, when fans come together, that they can really do something. When exactly did the ex-players come in and jump on the bandwagon?
I think it was almost about sort of the next day when I was on like Sky News. Like the tweet had obviously been like blew up by then. I think Robbie Fowler was one of the first ones. I think Luis Garcia. Jose Enrique, I think, was another one. They were all like, "Yep, it's a great idea. Let's get Sven to Anfield."
Brilliant, brilliant.
It was, well, to be fair, like even it's such a small thing at the same time. Like it's not like he actually ever got a chance to become the Liverpool manager, and like it's one of them occasions where it's a Legends game, and who else was really going to do it? Do you know what I mean? And it's just nice. It was nice. And it goes to show as well that the club would as well. Like of all clubs to do something like that, I would fully expect Liverpool to be one of the clubs to do it. As much as there's a lot of stuff that goes on that we don't all agree with, when something like this is happening, where it's someone's dream and they're in the game, they are an ex-manager, they are this, that, and the other. The club will go above and beyond to do things with this as well. So, it shows that it's really good and everything. And again, as Sean said, mate, all the power to you for actually getting the ball rolling on it and stuff like that. You never know. If you'd never done that tweet, mate, it may never have happened. It probably would never have happened, in all fairness.
But you can see, even how much it meant to him. When he was at the dugout, and "You'll Never Walk Alone" was sung. I mean, it was incredible, absolutely incredible.
No, it's still it's one of my moments that I'll just remember that obviously we obviously got Sven to Anfield, but I think as well the whole day of the occasion was absolutely fantastic. Obviously beforehand, the picture with Sven and Klopp, I think it was fantastic as well.
Yeah.
And just the whole occasion. And luckily, all the goals happened where I was sat. I was actually sat in the one of the lounge, the Carlsberg lounge, because I got hospitality for the game, because I thought, why not, just treat myself. All the goals happened, and I think the biggest cheer, apart from obviously Sven, I think was Fernando Torres bundling home the fourth goal.
That was right in front of us, wasn't it, Sean? We were sat in the cop. Yeah, it was right in front of us. Was that? Yeah. He was trying so hard as well, all game. He was trying so hard. And I said to Sean as well when we were there, I was like, I always thought Torres was a quiet player, but when you were there, he was giving it this all the time, and I was like, I never knew that about him. So yeah, it was good for that as well. Yeah, but honestly, Doug, all power to you for it, mate. As I just said earlier, I don't think it would have happened if you'd not tweeted that out, and you would just, as you say, sat there and you just got to feel let's just see what happens. Boom, you made a man's dream come true. Do you know what I mean?
It was a good game as well. I mean, it wasn't it was a really, really good game, and I mean, we had top players on both sides as well.
Yeah, I think Kiki Musampa. I remember him from his Man City. I remember him scoring a winner against us. Funnily, I think it was in a 2-1 win or a 1-0 win. And I knew then he was a pretty good player as well. But to be fair, the whole occasion was lovely. And yeah, I don't think I'd ever seen Nabil Elzar scoring.
Oh yeah.
And then obviously Gregory Vignal as well. So it was just one of those games where he had very, very unusual goal scorers, obviously like Vignal and like Elzar, and then you had obviously Cisse and Torres.
Yeah, Cisse, man, as well. Yeah. To be fair, it took me back to my childhood when I was watching that game as well. There was a lot of them players that were on that pitch. I was just I never got to see these when I was a kid, really. I never got to see. So, it was good as well to see them there as well. So, I see what happens this year. I'm presuming they'll be doing another one again this year, but I'll have to just wait and see.
Yeah.
Well, next year, but yeah, I'll have to wait and see. So, yeah, Scott says here that he was sat in the same lounge as you, Doug, when you went to the game.
There we go.
You've got a lot of shout outs here as well, Doug. Don't know if you've already seen them. So, they got Sideline Football Show there. JT as well, bigging you up. What else have we got? See if we can find another one. I'm sure there was another one.
We've got Stav
as well, yeah.
Wakefield.
Yeah. And Gary Rich says that Sven was great. He was as well. He was amazing. Craig, all the way from Canada, thanks for joining us, mate. Hope you're doing well.
Sideline is over in Canada as well, I think, as far as I know.
Who is, sorry?
The Sideline. I was meant to be on.
Oh, yes. Yeah, Sideline as well, man, yeah. Right. So, guys, not to just, I don't know, kill the mood there or something, but I want to do a little quick gut check on you both right now. Contract situation. I'm just going to throw it both at you right now. How are you thinking? How are you feeling now? I know we've had Trent's comments that came out the other day. I ain't going to show him anything like that because you can interpret it in many ways, really, in what he was saying. Out of the three players, Salah, Van Dijk, and Trent, is there one of them that you think's most likely to leave and one that's most likely to sign? I'll start with you, Seano.
I really don't know. I really don't know. I have a list of all the contracts that are up next year and then the year after. I think Salah will go. I think Salah will go, and I think Virgil will. I think Trent will be the only one that will stay.
What about you, Doug?
Yeah, I seen something today. Like, people are discussing about this as well, and I'll be honest. I think out of the three, I think Virgil and Salah stay. I think Trent goes. I think he is almost. I think the fact he's very, very close friends with Jude. I think there's something there. I think Jude's maybe trying to get him to go to Madrid, but this is going to go on and on and on and on until we get like to January. It may even go into sort of November, December. It might go on until then. Hopefully, we'll at least one of them will sign very, very soon. But I think if out of the three who I think would probably be most likely to leave, I'd probably say Trent, if I'm being honest, because I think if we look at this season as well, Connor Bradley's there to step up as well. He would be a loss, but I do think that when you have Madrid after you, and especially having obviously Carvajal with his ACL, I think it kind of puts 2 and 2.
No, yeah, I'm on the same line as you, Doug. I honestly think that we see Van Dijk and Salah stay, and Trent goes. I don't know. Like, I've been on my nine about it for a while now. Like, I was at one point, I think the last time we spoke about it, I was like, I was thinking that maybe all three of them end up staying, but then with the Carvajal thing that's been going on, the comments that he's coming out with where he was like, oh, I don't want to be played out in public, but then he's openly talking about things in public at the same time. The fact that it's going on so long, I don't know. I think I was holding out hope that with him being a local lad that he'd want to do like a Steven Gerrard, but I think if you were to just look at it, not being biased, and you look at the team that Madrid's building, like, it's all young players, like Bellingham, Camavinga, Tchouaméni, Mbappe, Vinicius Jr. This is the team that they could all put together, and it could be around together for 10 years. So they could go and win so much. Carvajal's coming towards the end of his career anyway, probably. So the fact he's got this ACL as well is not going to help that fact. Madrid have come out in their papers basically saying something along the lines of they don't really want to make a deal in January, but if they can get a bargain, they'll get it. I won't be surprised, in all fairness, if we end up getting like 40-30 million pound bid for him in January and he goes, because he'll just turn around and say, I ain't signing a deal. I mean, end of the day, you've got like what? If you were to look at the three players in their prime, you've got over $250 million worth of talent just walking out the door. Like, they're all worth at least 100 million. Do you know what I mean? So,
do you not think though, with the age that Virgil and Salah are at, that usually FSG would oust them, would get rid of them just based on age? Probably,
yeah. But I think they're going to want to try and save a little bit of face here, because they may, I don't know, again, I might be talking absolute shite, but like, they could basically be thinking to themselves, right, we've lost Trent. They may already know to the point now, like, if it gets to November and there's no news on any of them, they're going to have to start making hard decisions, and it's going to be like, right, we know Trent's going, so let's just take that money we're going to give to him, we'll just throw money at Salah, we'll throw money at Van Dijk, give him 3-year deals, and yeah, we might lose Trent and there's going to be a bit of backlash, but at the end of the day, we've signed Van Dijk and Salah. Like, I don't know, like, and it might try and appease the fans that way a little bit. I'm not too sure, but yeah, I'm coming around to that side of thinking, to be fair, Doug, with what you just said then regarding it all. But I do think as well, though, that there needs to be some movement on it. I would hate to get to January and all three of them are open to like having discussions with other clubs. Like, I mean, I'm not going to be naive and not think that them discussions are not already happening with other clubs already. Like, there will be. But if we get to January and not one of them signed a deal, that's when I'd be thinking, like, what is going on? Like, how do we let this happen? And then as Seano mentioning there, like, we've got players afterwards, like Kanate. I know Kwanzaa's just signed, but he was one of them as well. I think Robbo's contract's coming to an end as well. Is that right, Seano? He's not too far off.
I'm just having a look here again because I had it on our page. So 2026, Queven Kelleher, Andy, and Obu. So they're all up on 2026.
Yeah. I mean,
I do think left back is a position we need to strengthen either in January or in the summer. I think Robertson, unfortunately, I think he's losing his legs. I don't think he's as quick as he once was, and I've seen people say he's declining. He probably is. So yeah, I think, and then obviously Tsimikas, who I'm not even going to rant and rave about because I've always said that he's not a very good defender. Yeah, but look, I think if the rumours about obviously Ait Nouri, I've seen him continuously being linked. I've seen him being linked with the young United left back. I think we're into Benfica, Alvaro Fernandez. I've seen that today as well. Look, I think left back is definitely a position we do need to think about strengthening. Robertson is, I think he's coming up to 31, 32 now. So I think there will be a conversation needed there. Look, he could easily be, still a very, very good backup. There's no denying. Andy Robertson for me has been one of our best left backs I've ever seen. We remember the days of obviously John Ararisa. We remember Fabio Aurelio. But yeah, Andy Robertson, Scotland captain. He's still a very, very important player for us as well. But I do think there will be a discussion there that we do need to be looking at a left back because I honestly think Tsimikas will be away, and I do think they'll get rid of Owen Beck.
Owen Beck as well, yeah, I kind of think that as well. To be fair,
there's a few. Anasio as well. I think I've seen.
Oh, the lad at Sporting, yeah.
Sporting.
He can also play centre back as well, can't he? Yeah. I don't know, man. Let's just see what some of these comments here. Like Martin's popped up, as he said. Yeah. All right, Sean. Martin, mate. Hope you're doing well, pal, and everything like that at home and everything like that. Hope it's all going good. Happy Thanksgiving in Canada. Oh yeah, I did know that. I heard that earlier on today. Yeah. Happy Thanksgiving to all the Canadians out there that are watching. Mighty Reds 97. Bigging you up there, Doug. Mighty Reds 97.
Thank you.
That's Brandon.
Brandon's also got a YouTube channel, guys. Go over there and subscribe. And he's also got socials over on TikTok and Instagram. I think he's pretty big on Instagram, to be fair.
He did. He got Ryan Babel on to do a score prediction. So
I thought that was who that was. I recognized the channel name, but I didn't realize it was it was him. Fantastic getting Ryan Babel on. That's amazing.
Absolutely. I mean, there are rumors that Brandon is not his real name and that it's actually Chiesa.
Oh, I've seen that as well, yeah. Craig's happy to see you on the channel, Doug.
Thank you, Craig.
What else we got here? Guy Richards, Liverpool have allowed this shite to continue. It's a disgrace. I kind of agree with that. Sawtooth Fred, can't believe we didn't sell more a year and a half ago for 150 million. Look at the average season he had last year. Just stupid. Keep the two others if they can. I think Salah's having a decent season this year. In all fairness, I think he's got his spark back. If we can keep that going for another couple of years, I think I'd keep him. In all fairness, if sticking with Salah, then who out there do you realistically think Liverpool could go and sign and have? Well, I'm just going to stop it there. They're not going to get the same output as Salah now, but who could even get anywhere near that? I can't even think of a winger that plays out on the right. It was a left-footed player. I mean, maybe Elise, but he's just gone to Bayern Munich for 60 million, so they ain't going to let him go. I can't even think of anybody else, really. I mean,
the only one for me, if it was Premier League based, would be Jared Bowen, who I think is is a very, very good player. The other player I've been very impressed with, and I think he's going to have a really big season for Brentford, is Brian Mbermo.
Oh, Mbuemo, yeah. He was a name that popped up a while ago, I think, to be fair. I think someone shared something with me about him. Someone saying he should go to Liverpool. I can't remember who it was. I said it, maybe Danny Murphy or something like that. Might have been someone like that. But yeah, he was a name that was mentioned. There was another lad, actually, but I think he's more of like a number 10. I think he plays for Real Sociedad. The
Kubo?
Yes, Kubo
Taka
as well.
Yeah, it's a Takafusi Kubo or someone like that.
Yeah. He was linked over during the summer and that, but I don't know if that was just because of the whole Zubamende stuff. I'm not sure. Like
Gary Richards is saying Nico Williams.
Yeah, I mean, his wage demands would probably be at Salah's already, and doesn't he play on the other side anyway? Like I thought he played where Diaz and that lot. I think that's where he was playing for Spain.
Yeah, I think he is on the left. I know, obviously, from watching like the Euros, I know he played on the left a lot for Spain. I think he plays on the left for Bilbao as well. And then obviously you've got Yamin Labal on the other side. So yeah, I think he's more of a left winger, Nico Williams.
Yeah. What's this one here? There's a left back there from sideline, Kerekes at Bournemouth. Yeah, I kind of liked him, to be fair. Isn't he Hungarian as well? I think he is, isn't he? So he'll know like Szoboszlai and stuff like that. So, yeah, he's not a bad shout for left back. What's that? Well, no, we can't just sell him. We just have to go with him. Oh, that's in regards to the Mo Salah stuff. Guy Richards said, Johan Bakayoko. I don't think he's that. I don't know, man. Like, his numbers in Eredivisie are not something that I'd be like, oh, yeah, he's going to come over and do well in the Premier League. I don't know. Like,
we've been linked with him for years.
Yeah.
Like, we've had scouts watching him play for, PSV. And obviously, I think when he was in the Belgian league as well. But yeah, I agree with you, Adam. I don't think the numbers sort of match the player. And look, again, he was another one that was kind of on sort of watch for the Euros, and then obviously look what happened to Belgium. They were very, very poor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, very poor indeed with Belgium. Like that. In fact, I think they were like the ones that I was most disappointed by. In all fairness, like they were just shocking with Belgium. When you look at the players that they had, bonkers how bad they did in the Euros. Sawtooth Fred said Robinson from Fulham. Now he is a player that I'm pretty sure was linked with Liverpool again in the summer. I'm sure he was. I'm sure I read something about him in Liverpool. But yeah, again, as you were saying earlier, Doug, about left backs being linked. We've been linked to a fair few. Altonori, Robinson. We haven't been linked with Kerekes, but he's one that I'd probably keep an eye on. As Seano mentioned earlier, Inacio. So yeah, I think a left back or a left-sided centre back is going to be a priority at some point. JT, even at this stage, letting your three best players' contracts run down this long is disgraceful. All those players that left, Thiago alone was on 200k, so there's ample there to offer deserved new deals.
There's no excuse. There's absolutely no excuse whatsoever to not do business. I don't give a fuck whether you're FSG out, FSG in, FSG shake it all about. You can decide, you can think what you like about the owners and financial fair play and finance and stability and all of that jazz. The long and short of it is we have the money. I think we need to do more work next summer than we did last summer as a result of not doing any business last summer. And I think if we let these three players go, which is a high possibility at the moment, we don't see any signs of any of them signing. That is a massive worry. And I think anyone that believes otherwise, I don't know what to say to you.
I mean, there's a theory going around. I'm not sure if you two have seen it, that Liverpool are trying to balance the books to make it look a bit more, appealing for someone to come and buy it. I've seen that doing the rounds. I mean, like, we haven't seen the financials yet for this year or anything like that, but there was somebody on Redmen TV, I'm sure. Can't remember his name. It's a journalist, to be fair, in all fairness, that he's not a Liverpool fan. He says that he's not a Liverpool fan, but he's quite into. I can't remember his name. Is it something Powell? I can't remember.
Simon Powell.
Who?
Simon Powell.
No, I don't think so. I can't remember his name.
David
but anyway,
Powell.
he was basically saying something along the lines that Liverpool have got the money to sign all three of these players to big deals. They've got the money. There's no reason why they can't do it. So yeah, it's mad. Gary Rich said Elliot can play right wing, as one's been saying. Liverpool will be sold in 3 years. Sorry, to DIC International. That's the buy thingy.
I'm not so sure Elliot's a right winger, to be honest. I think he's more of a number 10.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
I think if he'd not picked up that injury, there's actually something that popped up earlier just as we went live, some new images of him in his rehabilitation thing. I think if he'd not got that injury, he'd be Szoboszlai's backup. I think he'd be getting swapped in and out with Szoboszlai a lot, which I kind of like. I like this about Slot. I don't know why I said Szoboszlai again, where every player seems to have their fixed position. You know, like when I had this conversation with Martin the other day. I don't want to sound like I'm bashing Klopp here, because I'm not. I loved Klopp, right? But when you used to look at the sideline and look at the subs, and you'd see Gakpo or you'd see Jota or whoever, you didn't know where they were going. You didn't know if they're going down the middle or on the left. But at the moment on the Slot, you know that if Gakpo's coming on, he's coming on for Diaz, and you know that Jota and Núñez are the number 9. And you know that Elliot's going to be coming on for Szoboszlai, blah 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 blah. Everyone's got their position, and there's not a lot of moving players about or anything like that. And I don't know, it's nice to see the consistency and letting the players play in certain positions and learn that this is what's expected of me in this position, not which I kind of think's been the problem with Gakpo, for instance, since we signed him. 1 minute he's chucked out on the wing, next minute he's down the middle. There was sometimes he's playing midfield. He doesn't really know what's expected of him every time he's on the pitch. But yeah, he's got his solid foundation now, I guess, of what's expected of him. Sideline here said it was a big management void when Schmatke was around. These contracts should have been dealt with then. They should have been dealt with when the players entered the last 2 years of the deal. I think
by Mike Gordon should have stepped in and said, "Okay, lads, whose fault is that?" I mean, so Edwards leaves, Julian Ward comes in, he then leaves. Then
from
we
his dream job.
Yeah, and then this George Schmacht, whatever the hell his name is, he enters into a 3-month contract with a Premier League club, one of the best in Europe. You're giving him a 3-month contract and then extending his contract. Yeah, I mean that whole summer apart. I mean, obviously it was an absolute. By the grace of God, we signed McAllister and Szoboszlai. Great, and then off the back, then we got Endo. That's fine, but it was an absolute joke from the Lavia thing, from the Casado thing, from the Bellingham thing, and this guy on a 3-month contract. We should have been looking at the contracts of those players way before Julian Ward left, way before Edwards left. There is no excuse for that, and this is a regular occurrence with Liverpool Football Club. Genie's gone, Bobby went, Milner wanted to stay.
Bobby wanted to stay.
Yeah, Bobby wanted to stay. So I think we need to do way better than what we're doing with contracts. Never mind about signing players. Contracts is really important because these players aren't going to just sit around and twiddle their thumbs. I mean, that you have to approach them. You have to say, well, right, this is what we're here to offer you, rather than leaving it down to the last 12 months of their contract. It's absolutely crazy, and we're in a very vulnerable situation.
Yeah. I'm just reading some of these comments here. Bon reckons that Diaz will be looking out in the summer, as in looking for a way out. I think he was looking for a way out this summer, in all fairness. Like with the rumours that his dad was saying all this stuff about PSG and Barcelona and stuff like that. Like, I think he might have been trying to get a way out this year, but the way he's playing, I'd be giving him a new deal.
Yeah, but it all depends on you know, the ambition of the club. If the ambition of the club is to win silverware now, and we sign players for the here and now that can hit the ground running, then the existing players are going to react to that. This bullshit about offloading Klopp's kids and saying, "Oh well, you know, balance the books, me arse." We still need to have players, and we still need to have a squad, and that squad is going to be tried, you know, in the next couple of weeks with the next fixtures. It's also going to be tried with the fitness of our players.
Yeah, sure. Have you got any last comments you want to say on this whole situation, Doug, before we move on? Because I think Sean then kind of alluded to the fixture list that's coming up. So anything you want to add to the contract situation?
Yeah, that's somewhere that Sean spoke about. Obviously, you know, McAllister, Sobozloy. It was almost like release clause FC, wouldn't we? And then obviously getting Endo for 60 million, and then there was a Gravenberg as well. But it's so annoying when we're letting these players go down to the last sort of year on their contracts. It is very, very frustrating. Hopefully, something will be sorted very, very soon because, as I said earlier, we don't want to be in a situation where it's going to drag on into November, drag on to December, and then we're into January, and then, you know, we're the three players will be able to speak to other clubs. You don't want to be in a position like that. So hopefully one or two will be signed, but I'm not holding my hopes up, to be honest.
I mean, what's stopping them holding the club to ransom like Sterling did? Do you know what I mean? And I'm waiting around to see what we've achieved at the end of the season and say, well, fuck is, do you know? So
I think Sterling's trying to go on a bit like a magic tour of the clubs that Liverpool absolutely hate. Bloody hell, Man City, Chelsea, and now Arsenal. No doubt he'll be like at Manchester United in like a couple of years or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he probably would. Yeah. Sideline football. Before we move on, guys, he's mentioned here that like we're making money hand over fist. Basically, we've got Adidas is, you know, the rumored. Well, we've seen the mock-up kits apparently for next year and stuff like that. Standard Chartered, AXA, Japan Airlines. You know, all these contracts have bigger value now, and the match revenue has increased. We have sold and loaned out a lot of players. Well, we have, haven't we? Like. We looked at, didn't we, not so long ago, Shannon, just after the transfer window ended, how much money we'd actually made in profit this year from what, the lack of business that we'd done. Like, and how we signed Chiesa, and Chiesa was basically like covered by the Solanke money. Like, that was how that was covered. And, you know, obviously we've gone on and signed Mamadashvili, which, to be fair, in hindsight, that looks like a really good signing for next year now, especially with the way Alisson's had two very injury-ravaged seasons last year and this year.
But my question on that one, and I have to pose this because I really want to know your take on it, Doug. Who is he actually replacing? Is he replacing Alisson or Kelleher?
Like I think I've said for a while that I do think Kelleher will be going. I do think he'll be going. I think he deserves a move, but as a number one. I think it was absolutely ludicrous what came out in, I think, on deadline day, that apparently we were trying to sign Matt Turner, and Forest were literally like offering Matt Turner for Kelleher, and apparently the rumored fee was about 7 million. Yeah, Kelleher for me, if you're basing it on sort of value, for me, he's about 35 million. There's no way he is worth 7 million plus Matt Turner. That would have been one of the most ridiculous deals that ever happened. And obviously, you know, look at Matt Turner. He's now sub-keeper for Crystal Palace, I think, on a season-long loan as well. Madness.
Yeah. I mean, for me, we'll go on to Alisson's situation now, actually. So I think Mamadashvili is an Alisson replacement. Like, I I don't think you go out there and sign a player of his quality, which I know in all fairness, like he is young, but he's got some quality. Like he's probably one of the best goalkeepers in La Liga. There's no way that he signed for Liverpool and was not told and was basically told, right, you can go play this full year in Valencia, play every single game, and then next year you're sitting on bench. There was no way that was told to him. So like, I agree with what you said then, Doug. I reckon this is Kelleher's last year at the club. I think next year is the last time they can actually get some money from him. Otherwise, we're going to be in the same situation next year with Kelleher, like where we're going to be in this time next year, and it's going to be like, oh well, his contract expires in like 9 months, so
So is it Alisson's last season? Do you think?
Yeah.
So it's Alisson and Kelleher's last season.
I believe so. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think many people will believe that. But I do think that we will sell Alisson and Kelleher this season coming. I think
it's going to be a busy summer.
There was like this thing that was going around the other day that apparently Bayern Munich had looked at signing Alisson, but then turned around and turned away from it basically because something along the lines of Manuel Neuer's contract's expiring and he's 38, and they're looking at getting a new goalkeeper in. But apparently they looked at Alisson and decided not to do it. Whether that's Liverpool have offered him to them, or his agents offered him to them. Like, you know, there was them quotes from Alisson himself where he basically said, I'll stay at the club if they want me here. Like, I'll sign the new deal. But if they want me to move on to get money for me, then I'll go as well. Like, I would go to Saudi Arabia, he basically said, like, but I want to stay and win trophies at Liverpool right now. So, and we know how big, like, the Saudi clubs went to go and sign Edison and Alisson last year. So, I don't know. Again, as people are saying here, his injuries, like, you know, he had a big injury last year. He had another big injury this year. In all fairness, all he did was kick the ball out, and he's pulled his.
I've never known a goalkeeper to get so many muscular injuries. It's quite insane.
Yeah, I mean, I might actually load up his injury record thing while you guys are talking.
I'll tell you, we're gonna have a very, very busy summer next summer, because I mean, if those three players, Virgil, Salah, and Trent, if they're going, and then we've got Kelleher and Alisson going, that's one hell of a summer. That's one hell of a summer that we need to do some serious business.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking here at his injury problems here, dating back to 2017, 2018, and he was having muscular problems back then. Like, he missed one game for Roma, and then 19-20, he missed 15 games, 67 days, like for Liverpool and Brazil combined. He then had a hip injury, missed 3 games, and then was ill, shoulder injury, hip injury, ill, COVID. And then last year he had that muscular problem where he missed 3 days, and then he had a virus, missed another game. And then he had a hamstring injury, missed 15 games. And then he had a thigh problem at the beginning of this year, missed 2 games. And then he's had this one now, and he's currently been out for 8 days so far. And there's obviously no end in sight. Like, apparently he's not going to come back until, is it November or something daft like that? Something along them lines where he's not due
after
back
the
until
November international break. Look, I'll say this off a tangent. The fact that we're having international breaks in September, October, and November is absolutely ludicrous. Why do you need 3 international breaks to begin the season? There's not one until after March. After the November one, it's just pointless.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying something the other day about how it was some of the quotes from, was it Pep Guardiola, when he said the first 3 games of the Premier League are kind of like the preseason still, because every year they play 3 games and then they have an international break. So it's annoying, man.
It's crazy. I mean, that Cup of Nations thing is a load of me arse. I mean, I think I watched a little bit of Greece, Republic of Ireland, and Kelleher absolutely made an absolute mess. And
that mistake will do him the world of good, because there's been times this season where he's dawdled on the ball a couple of times, and he's been very, very fortunate. That mistake will do him the world of good, I think.
Well, I think his mind is set on leaving Liverpool, and I think, you know, the signs are there that Liverpool do not see him as a number one, and so I think he's gone.
Do you think if like Adrian hadn't gone, do you think Yaros would still be here?
Well, I mean, Yaris, if you remember, he was on loan with St. Pat's in Ireland, and he was pure muck. Now, I don't watch the League of Ireland. I'm only going on what I was told. So
Was that not Petalugia?
Yeah. Yaros went over to
my apologies.
Sturm Graz, I think.
Austria or something, wasn't it? Was it Austria?
Sturm Graz. They won the league for the first time in a number of years, stopping I think Red Bull Salzburg's I think it was 9-year dominance of the Austrian league.
Yeah. That keeper you're talking about though, Sean, or that Brazilian goalkeeper, he won't get a chance at Liverpool, no way. But Yaros, if Adrian had stayed, would he have stayed? Probably not. No, I wouldn't have thought so.
I don't think so.
You have 4 keepers on the book then, like.
I
don't know, man. It's weird as well, though, isn't it? Like, when you look at Alisson as being like the best goalkeeper in the world, but he just can't stay fit these last 2 years. Maybe it is a sign about Mamardashvili. Like Scott says here, he reckons that Mamardashvili deal is to replace Alisson, but by making him the future number 1 means Kelleher will be off, which I think we all kind of agree with. Like, and you know, Kelleher even said in an interview, didn't he, himself, where he basically said when he was with Ireland, like, I wanted to go this summer. They've gone out and signed a goalkeeper, so they don't need me. Like, so, and you know what? Again, though, there was another player, wasn't there, this summer as well that basically hit out at Liverpool. Was it Van der Berg? He basically said that like the club was stifling his career because they won't let him go because they wanted X amount of money and all this stuff. Like, you don't want to get a reputation stuff like that because then youngsters will just stop coming. Like, if they don't see a clear path and then they don't think that the club are going to end up giving them the chance to go elsewhere and be fair, like, as I think in all fairness, what Sepp was saying, where he was saying basically like, they've never given me a chance. They've never like thought anything about me, but all of a sudden I'm worth 20 million.
I think that move to Brentford has done him the world of good as well, because he seems to be thriving in that Brentford side. Especially the same with Fabio Carvalho. I never really thought this summer. I know Fabio Carvalho had a pretty good pre-season as well, but I always had a feeling, especially when I went to that Sevilla game, and I think it was like the Saturday before it. That was obviously when Carvalho was announced for Brentford. And I actually had Carvalho in my team for Sevilla, so obviously I had to change it immediately. But I think it's done the world of good having them at Brentford, because both of them seem to be thriving, and they're the kind of early goals at the moment. Brentford.
Yeah. Did we get sell-on clauses in them too, or buyback clause? I know there was a thing this year, wasn't there, where Liverpool seemed to get 17.5%, and if you sell-on clauses, I know there was one in Bobby Clark or something like. He got a first refusal, Bobby Clark or something. I wonder if they got the same with. I would have thought that they got the same with Sepp and Fabio as well. But I've always thought with Fabio that he was a Pep Linders signing. Me, I never thought that Jurgen Klopp wanted him because he never played him really. He always stuck him out on that right wing, left wing, sorry. And even Carvalho himself said, like, I don't play there. I'm a 10. So
he had like a couple of like games where you think, oh, okay, he's going to like make a bit of an impact. Obviously, the Newcastle goal, which I think you know that one sticks in my mind. And then I think there was another couple of games that he had that he came on and made an impact. And then for some reason he just wasn't played, wasn't on the bench, wasn't. And it was like as he had a falling out with Klopp, and then obviously he's moved to Leipzig on loan. That didn't work, and then moved on to Hull, which he had a pretty good time of it at Hull. But there was never a time where I thought Fabio Carvalho is Liverpool sort of first team quality or anything like that. He would have been a squad player at best, I think.
Yeah.
Gary Richards says Carvalho wasn't good enough. I'd be inclined to agree with that too. I mean, he did show moments of flair, but but just not enough. And I think he got a bit too lippy in the end, and you can't have that.
Yeah, I think as Sideline said there, one of Cavallio's interviews hurt him a lot. Like, didn't he say something along the lines of he'd not spoken to Klopp and Klopp had not reached out to him, or something along? It was something along them lines, wasn't it? It was really weird. JT says here that just on the fitness, I don't want to jinx it or play down Klopp, but Ibu seems to be being managed brilliantly. I can't remember him playing so many games in a row and playing superb apart from that one mistake. To be fair, in all fairness, I think Ibu's had a bit of a breakthrough year this year. Like, I think his first season with us was pretty good, and then I think he's like gone down a little bit, I like to say, but he's on his way back up again this year. But again, is that down to the fundamentals of this squad? Like, we seem to be a lot more defensively stable now, if that makes sense, like a lot more solid. Whereas, you know, again, when you start talking about stuff like this, people think you're bashing Klopp, but you're not. Like, but we used to play
different style of football. It's a different style of football. Like, Klopp was heavy metal. Exactly.
That's what I was going to say. Like, you played with under Klopp with like your centre back sat on the halfway line. With full backs have disappeared, they've gone. Like, they're halfway down pitch. You had like one defensive midfielder, if you had one, that was like floating around somewhere. You know what I mean? So it was Van Dijk and whoever was next to him was just basically left to defend. So yeah, I think we've got a little bit more solid base. Maybe that's why we're seeing a better Kanate this year as well.
Only time will tell, though.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, brilliant segue again, Sean. Why am I even the host? I should just hand this channel over to you, in all fairness. Mate. I don't even know.
Are you kidding?
I'll just bring this up for you now then, guys. The fixture list between now and December the 1st. So I saw something earlier on today that basically said this is now the crunch time where we're going to see how slot is. And I know Scott's in the chat, and I know Scott's mentioned about the lack of rotation, proper rotation, shall we say, so far this year. So like obviously we start this weekend, we've got Chelsea, then we've got Leipzig on Wednesday, then we come back to Arsenal. So them 3 games in a row, you know, you would think that we'd beat I think we beat Leipzig. I don't know what to expect from Chelsea and Arsenal. In all fairness, like, I think Chelsea have started to turn the boat around a little bit. They seem to be going in the right direction. And Arsenal, for me, are probably the best team in the league right now.
With Chelsea rotating their squad, they've got about 45,000 players.
Yeah. Like, they don't have some of their players. Some of their first team starters don't even play in Europe this year. Like, they're literally just playing in the league and the cups over here or whatever. So I don't know. And then we've obviously got this Brighton thing here, which I think there's like an EFL Cup that's postponed or something there. So that's why that game's moved around a little bit there. So I'm not sure if we play Brighton on the Wednesday or the Saturday there. It doesn't look like it's been decided yet. But anyway, after that game, we'd have Leverkusen, the German champions, Xabi Alonso, like, could have been the Liverpool manager. Probably wanted a bit more control than what Slot wanted. That's probably why it didn't happen. Then we play Aston Villa, Unai Emery. Like, Aston Villa are on a bit of a upward trajectory now, I'd say, of late. Then we've got a bit of a respite against Southampton. Like, I think we batter Southampton, in all fairness. Like, they seem to be like the team that everyone seems to be beating this year, if I remember rightly from some of the results I've seen. And then we've got the Real Madrid, Man City, back-to-back. Shall we, you know, the Trent Alexander-Arnold, what should we say? His first, no, I can't remember, debut. No, not that. What was I going to say? I can't think what I was going to say. No, it's gone on
Reunion.
Yeah, reunion. Yeah, them ones, yeah. Against Real Madrid.
This is the club you could be playing for.
Yeah. So I know that's probably a lot to take in. You've got it up on your screen there. In all fairness, how many games is there? There's like, what, 8 games there, depending on what's happening with that Brighton thing. Let's just say 7. How many of them do you reckon Liverpool win, realistically? Like, I'll come to you first, Shauno, as I can see Doug's proper
Jesus Christ. Well, you see, I mean, it all depends. I mean, I think this is really going to be a trying time for Slot. I think this is really going to show what Slot is made of. I mean, I think we've all kind of been a little bit premature with our, or some more so than others, with making them out to be better than Klopp, or we just don't know. I think this is really, really going to test them. And I think with that fixture list, it's hard to know. I mean, we could lose to Chelsea, we could win to Chelsea. I mean, obviously, I'd love to say, like, Gary, all of them. Yeah, sure, let's win all of them. But
I don't know. This I think is one of the. I don't even know, man. Like, this has to be one of the hardest runs that we've ever had in years, surely. Like, when you combine the Champions League games in there as well.
I don't think there's an easy game in any of those. And I mean, I'm including Southampton into it, because I think we've seen what happens when you underestimate a team and you then lose to Nottingham Forest. So, if you are complacent, you're going to get punished for it. So if we have any sort of injuries or any sort of suspensions, our squad is going to be really tested. And then Slot is going to be tested. And what sort of rotation is he going to be doing? What sort of players is he going to be putting on? With the current injuries that we have now, who's going to be lining up for Liverpool against Chelsea? Chiesa, as happy as he is to be at Liverpool, is on the fucking medics table. He's not 100% fit. So, I mean, we can't really look at him. So, I mean, I don't really know, guys. I don't really know. I mean, I'd love to batter Chelsea because I can't stand them as a club. I'd love to batter Arsenal because of other reasons. I'm not. I know a few Arsenal fans. I'd love to batter Villa. I'd love to batter Real Madrid, and I'd love to absolutely destroy City, but I just don't know. I don't know. So I'm going to plead the fifth on that one.
What about you, Doug? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, that's a tasty lot, isn't it? Look, I'll be honest. Since Chelsea played City, I don't think they've really been tested against anybody. I think they were a bit fortunate against Forest. I think Forest didn't go down to 10 men. I think Forest probably beat them. Leipzig is a very interesting one because we have a very good record against them. They somehow managed to lose to Juventus the other day. I don't know how. They were 1-0 up. They were 2-1 up, and they managed to lose by 3-2. So they're a bit hit and miss. They seem to be doing well in the Bundesliga, but then not so great in the Champions League. Arsenal's, look, I'll be honest. I look at that Arsenal game. I think a draw wouldn't be a bad result there, but you shouldn't be going into that game thinking a draw would be good. You should be going into that game thinking we can maybe go win. If we win there, that would be a big statement of intent. That one. They have a bit of an injury list as well. I did see apparently Martinelli's injured now. Saka, Havertz, Timber. I think I read as well Partey. So they've got a bit of a wee injury list. But then again, when it came to injuries, we were just told to get on with it. So no sympathy. Brighton in the Cup's an interesting one because we've obviously got the league game after that as well. I don't know if that's been announced for the Sunday or watch that be 12:30. Nah, I'm only joking.
It probably will be. It
probably will be. Yeah. Leverkusen, obviously, I think that's going to be a magnificent game. The atmosphere under the lights at Anfield on European night is very, very good. Then Aston Villa, I think Aston Villa form is going to be sort of determined on the Champions League form this season. I think they kind of struggled. I watched them against Ipswich a couple of weeks ago, and I think they are being affected by the Champions League games because the beating Bayern Munich was a fantastic result for them. And then they played Manchester. That was one of the most boring games of football I've ever watched. The Aston Villa Manchester United game. It was so dull. This is the thing when you hype up a game as such as good as that. That it was always going to be finishing 0-0. It was the game that potentially Ten Hag was going to get sacked, and like that's not happened. So Southampton are absolutely horseshit. They are awful. They are absolutely awful. They are so open. They are so open at the back. Honestly, we should be going there, and I kid you not, we had the 6-1 win there, sort of in the cup. Honestly, we should be looking to go there and absolutely battering them because they are honestly really poor. I'm surprised Russell Martin is still at Southampton. I'll be honest with you. Seems to be sort of a link now where managers don't seem to be sort of losing their jobs. Obviously, Gary O'Neill at Wolves, he's under pressure. Russell Martin's under pressure, and obviously Erik ten Hag as well. And then Real Madrid. I mean, we're due a result against them. We are badly due a result against them, and it could easily come on that day. And then Manchester City. I'm the same with Sean. I hope we absolutely smash these cheats as well. You're gonna ask me how many wins I think we'll get out of that. It's difficult. It is very difficult. I mean, there's 10 games there. If we could get, I would say 6 or 7 wins, I think we've done very well.
Yeah, I agree with that. Again, like, I don't want to like jinxes or anything like that, but like, oh, Shauna's gone. He's back in. What happened there? Did you not take it off?
I don't know. I mean, I was waiting for Doug to give us his match predictions, and it just went buffering, and I didn't know whether it was the channel that was buffering or Doug that was buffering, but whatever.
No, it's fine. What was I saying? Oh yeah, don't want to jinx us or anything like that, but I'm in London this weekend, and I watch the NFL. Now, every time I do this, Liverpool get beat.
Then don't go.
Like, last year, it was the Spurs fiasco with the Diaz goal ruled out and everything like that. That was last year. And I can't remember the year before that. But I'm sure we got beat that year. The only difference is it's at home. So maybe we'll win. Like, we don't lose many games at home. Van Dijk's record's really good. So, yeah, I reckon we win that one. Leipzig away. To be fair, have they got Benjamin Sesko? Is he play for them ones, or is he still at Salzburg? Do we know? I think he plays for Leipzig now, doesn't he?
Sesko's at Leipzig. Yeah.
I used to be able to name a lot of the players at Leipzig. I couldn't even tell you their starting midfielder out now, or the starting striker out. So, I don't know. I reckon we do that. Arsenal away. I think we get beat. In all fairness, I think we do. I think Arsenal just sit back like they did against City and just absorb. I know they did that because they went down to 10 men, whatever, but they were kind of doing that anyway, from what I remember. So I won't be surprised if that happened.
I just want to beat Arsenal because of that smug prick Arteta.
Oh yeah, I know, man. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, can't stand that guy. Lego head, as people call him. Leverkusen, I think, again, as you say, like under the lights, Alonso back at Anfield again. That'll be a really good occasion. That'll be a good game to watch, I think, just in general. I agree with you about Aston Villa. Depending on it depends who their Champions League game is. Let's have a look. Who's their Champions League game?
I know they got to play Bologna, I think, I don't know if it's this week coming or there's another week, but I know they've got Bologna to come. I think they've got to play Celtic at one point. Well, Celtic will be a win for them.
They play Bruges.
Yeah, you'd expect them to win that one probably.
Yeah, they play Bruges away, and then us. Then they play Juve the next after that. So, and then they've got Leipzig as well. To be fair, yeah. So again, you'd think they'd win in Europe. So maybe we do that. We do that there. Southampton again, as I agree with everything. We'll just batter them. The second bottom in league. Only a by goal difference, I think, by looks of it. Wolves have conceded one more goal, so we should do that. Again, I agree. We owe Real Madrid now a few times. I mean, but in all fairness, if you were to look at that again as like a neutral and not be biased and anything like that, the Real Madrid have probably one of the best sides out there. Like if everyone's fit, Real Madrid have got one of the best teams in the world. So if we were to do them over at Anfield, that'd be a really good result in all fairness. And then what is it? I can't remember how many days are in November now. Is it 30? So it's like a 4-day turnover to play City at home. Yeah. You got to think as well, like Liverpool's team at this moment, like we'd have Kelleher in net for pretty much every single one of those games.
Would you play Yaros in the cup?
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, potentially. As long as we don't get any more players injured, I can't see why I can't see why we don't get as many wins out of that as possible. Like, there's obviously some banana skins in there. Like, you instantly when you look at that, you're looking at Real Madrid. To be fair as well, like I hate coming back off an international break. Like in that when we got beat by Forest after the international break.
Yeah.
But again, I'm umming and ahhing about this weekend. Do you know what I mean with that one? In fact, I'll miss that game. I'll be watching the NFL. I'll still be going on at that time. So
I didn't realize that got changed to the Sunday.
Yeah, I've just seen that myself. Yeah, I'll be missing that. I thought it was Saturday. To be fair, yeah, I don't know, guys. I think this will be make or break. I think for someone mentioned it earlier in the comments. Actually, let me find it a minute again. Tooth basically said there that we will know by December the 1st if we've got a chance of winning the league. I can't ever agree with that in all fairness. If we can get maximum as much, like, as long as we get, what is it? What would it be? 3, 6.
I won't be celebrating by December 1st. So too.
No,
I think after City we've got like I think it's is it like Newcastle away and like Everton or something.
Yeah, something along them lines. Yeah. I can load it up actually. To be fair, I only went so far down because I thought that was definitely running. So after City, we've got Newcastle away, yeah, Everton away, Genoa away, Fulham at home, Tottenham away, Leicester at home, West Ham away, United at home. It seems to be quite a fair bit here. We've got City again, not too far after that. Oh, have you seen? In fact, I can't show you this because I don't know how to do this share screen thing without showing everything else that's going on. But our last 5 games of the season, yeah, Spurs at home, Chelsea away, Arsenal at home, Brighton away, and then we finish with Crystal Palace.
Bloody hell!
It's
maybe an automated fixture thing that they do.
Supposed
Jesus.
to be. We've got a question from Sideline here. If we're going to lose one game out of these 10, who would you choose if you had to choose?
Real Madrid.
I'd probably I'd probably say the same as well.
I mean, obviously, you would love to go in like every competition possible. Brighton away will be a very difficult game. They've had a very, very good start under their new German manager Herzler. But look, we're in every competition to win it. But I think out of them lot, Real Madrid would probably be the one I would be like, I wouldn't be too bothered about losing. They are the holders, of course, but as I said, we are the result against them. So You never. I think the one game I would not want to lose to, if I'm being honest, is Southampton, because of just how bad they are.
Yeah. Especially after
I
losing
don't
to
want to
Forest
lose
as well.
to. I don't want to lose to City. I want to absolutely trash City.
We should have trashed them last season. We didn't.
No.
Ricky says he understands what I mean, and under Klopp, we'd lose if Arsenal play like that. But I think because we're more patient under Slot, we won't be gun ho, which is why I think a draw. So he reckons we'll draw against Arsenal because we won't be as open as we would be under Klopp. Yeah, I can probably see that. To be fair, we're a lot more patient with the ball. Scott says we'll probably win 9 out of 10 and lose 1 game to Southampton. Miscuse, when we play Real Madrid, don't be concerned if Bellingham has 4 legs. It's just Trent hanging out of his ass. Sideline would choose Southampton because he wants his revenge against Real Madrid, and he wants to trash City, Chelsea, and Arsenal, and then he don't mind losing to Southampton or Brighton.
I don't know about
that. Yeah. Mad that, guys, honestly. That running, especially them last 5 as well. Like, imagine if we're going in towards like title winning season and we've got to end up playing, what is it? Spurs, Chelsea, Arsenal, Brighton, Palace.
Well, I think from October 20th to December 1st, I think is really going to show our intent and where the club is at, where the squad is at, and where Slot is at.
Yeah,
I definitely think that's going to be that's really going to show.
Yeah. So that's that then, guys. For one last topic then, before we start rounding this up, what's your guys' thoughts on Jurgen Klopp's new job role, shall we say? Because I was just looking then on Sports Witness and stuff, and it's not going down too well in Germany, shall we say? Borussia Dortmund, one of their directors has basically said that he's going to have a word with Klopp about it. And let me find his quotes. Let me see. Somehow it still hasn't really sunk in. I was hoping it was fake news. I was in shock and sad too. But as a fan, I don't have to see him in front of the Sud anymore. When we meet, I will tell him personally that I think it's crap that he's doing something like this. Obviously,
I couldn't really care less. I mean, what is he? Global manager or something? Global sporting.
He's basically Michael Edwards for Red Bull.
Yeah. More power to them. More power to Klopp. I'm not going to be one of these. I get where the Germans are coming from because it's against Dortmund. That's fine and Mainz, but I can't. I mean, the guy's got to have a job. He's retired from being a manager. He's kept to his bargain on that, and he now wants to do something different where he's showing his expertise or trying to learn something different. So more power to him. I mean, I saw a report saying that he's now the manager of Leeds, which is ridiculous, but more power to him. Leave him to it. I mean, he served 9 years at Liverpool, and he did more than we could ever imagine. And he made us, as the cliche, he made us believe. So anything he does from now till whenever, more power to him.
What about you, Doug? What's your thoughts?
I'm pretty much in the same wavelength as Sean. I don't really mind what he's doing over there. I think as well, it's a position where he's not really in the dugout either. I think he quite clearly doesn't want to be a manager. I think the only position that he would fill would be the Germany job. I think that's the only job I can see him leaving that Red Bull post for, is if Nagelsmann decides to say says that enough's enough, and Klopp goes and takes Germany, which I think will happen eventually. But no, again, I don't really mind. I don't really mind. The one thing I did actually want to mention as well, Joe Mapp. I'm amazed he is retired.
Yeah. Same. To be fair, I did have that written down as something to talk about. Yeah, Joel Matip, like, how old is he? 33, 32, 33?
33, I think.
Yeah, that's eight. The only thing I can possibly think of is that there's no clubs coming for him with a deal that he wants, and that must literally just be down to his injury record. But it won't. If I remember rightly, his injury record wasn't so bad, was it? Until he had that massive injury last year, obviously. I don't know. Like, maybe I won't say that he was as injury ravaged as Thiago. You know, like Thiago. Like, I can understand why Thiago retired. I can understand that.
Yeah, I think Thiago at the end was probably just didn't have a hip, really. But Matip, look, for what we remember of him, he was a really, really good signing. Very, very good free transfer. And I think the term going on an adventure, I think, is another is like another thing to say. And obviously the memes as well. Very good defender, scored some very good goals for us. Probably will be remembered for the Champions League assist for Divock Origi as well. But we got very lucky with free transfers because obviously Matip was one of them, and obviously Jimmy Milner was another one. So no, fair play to him, and hopefully he has a good long retirement. But I was very shocked when I read it because I seen something. Was he not meant to be going like back to Schalke, as a player, as a coach or something? Then I seen West Ham were being linked with them. Very, very strange circumstances.
No, I know. Yeah, I saw the Schalke stuff, and I think I saw West Ham as well. Like you said, there was someone in the league that wanted him as well, or was rumoured of him. But the only thing I can put it down to is it has to be something underlying that we don't know. Like, the offers maybe he was getting weren't what he thought. Maybe he was only getting, what is it?
Just coming back from injury.
Pay to play, something like that. Is that the right phrase I'm using?
Pay to play, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we're getting offers like that. I don't know. Like, even Jurgen though, he'd already handed his notice and told us and everything what was going on. But even he at the time was saying that the club will do the right thing and give Joel a new contract. It's like bonkers, isn't it? Like, he could still do a job for us right now, I think, in all fairness. Like, as you say, like the times he used to run with the ball, the assist for Origi. I think as well, I agree with you as well. I think he's probably one of, if not the best free transfer I've ever had. Like, he's up there with Milner. What McAllister? Not Alexis, but Gary McAllister. He was a free transfer as well, wasn't he, back in the day, I think, as well.
Gary McAllister.
So them three are up there for me regarding free transfers that Liverpool have had over the years. I mean, when we first signed him, I was like, Joe Matip on a free transfer. Who's this kid? Never even heard of him. And then he came in and everything like that, and he just absolutely was just, like, amazing. And just, he was the perfect foil to Van Dijk. Whereas Van Dijk would sit back and make sure everything was covered up and defend and spray balls left, right, and centre. Matip was like that extra midfielder who would just get the ball and just start running with it, and people didn't know how to deal with it when he first started doing it. How many times, like, oh my God, I can't remember who it was against now. There was one where he picked the ball up in our half and he ran all the way through to the box, and he went to put a pass through and he slipped or something like that, and it all went tits up or whatever. It didn't exactly come off. But the way he slalomed through everybody like he was a skier, it was unreal. Like, it was really, really good.
remember his goal against Leeds, where he basically starts from his own box and he basically passes it to Trent, Salah to Trent, and then basically Matip keeps running and manages to finally get his goal.
Yeah.
I think there's a meme going around going on a great adventure or something like
Yeah.
that. But no, he was a fantastic player for us. And I don't think he had many injuries with us as well. Scored some very important goals for us as well. I remember one at Crystal Palace where he headed in. I think there was one against Arsenal where he headed in as well. West Ham away. He had some very important goals for us.
Sidelines after saying he's like a running giraffe. Gary Richards says the goal against Leeds was sexy.
I was got his injury record now, so for Liverpool, let's have a look. So yeah, you're right in what you were saying, Doug. He's not really missed many games for Liverpool. I mean, like, well, I'll tell a lie, actually, hold on. He missed 11 games in 17-18. He missed 19 in 19-20, 23 games in 2021. And then last year, obviously, he missed the entire season, basically like 37 games due to his tear, his cruciate ligament tear. It's got to be something related to that guy. That's the only thing I can think of.
I think so. Yeah.
The way he may have come back from that, it's just not worked out for him. I'm not too sure. But yeah, Joe Matip, man, up there is definitely one of the best free transfers Liverpool have ever had, especially in my lifetime. Anyway, I'd probably, in fact, go on. I'm going to put you both on the spot. Would you put him above Milner or Milner above Matip? If you had to pick one as the number one.
I just think because of his assist in the Champions League, I'm going to go Matip.
I was going to say the same. What about you, Seano?
So Milner versus Matip.
Yeah, is the
You
best.
know what?
Three.
I have to go with Milner, and I'll tell you why. Originally, when Milner joined, I thought him as a Liverpool number 7. You know, him taking up Suarez's jersey. I thought this is ridiculous, and the guy was a workhorse. I mean, he was a leader, and he made Jordan Henderson a better player, a better captain. You know, if Henderson, I mean, Henderson would play anywhere for you. You know, he played in defense, if you remember, left back, when we're against City. You know, so I personally think Milner, hands down. I love Matip, but Milner, you know, exceeded all expectations, and you know, unbelievable player.
No, I can see that point as well, to be fair. He's a Leeds lad as well, so I probably should have picked him, to be fair, but nah. Actually, for any of these things here, like, so JT said that he loved the running out of energy, and then he goes and enjoys Red Bull meme that's going around about Klopp right now.
This is Klopp.
Bond's asking why Red Bull are hated in Germany. I think it's something to do with is it 50+1 ownership that most German clubs have, where it's like fan owned or something like that, and Red Bull clubs don't have that. They're just owned by Red Bull. It's something to do with that. Why? So yeah, it is basically money related. Yeah. There was another one a bit further up as well, like there. Excuse me, has anyone seen the recent pictures of Klopp? I mentioned this in my video about this up there, actually. Like, Klopp does look like he's de-aged. Like, the stresses of managing Liverpool Football Club must have been taking its toll on him 100%. Like, he looks so much better for it now and so much younger for not being our manager anymore, basically. So
well, you know my views on it, but I definitely agree with you on that one. I think he looks a lot younger, and maybe he did have a can of Red Bull, but you know.
Soboslai apparently scored for Hungary.
Oh, nice.
Oh, okay, good stuff.
It's good to see him. It's good to see him score when they're abroad with the teams and everything like that. Was there something about McAllister? To be fair, what's this here? This seems to actually. There's been a complaint put in against FIFA by the top European leagues and players' union, abuse of dominance by FIFA.
Good. good.
Don't really-
FIFA should be put bang to rights for the amount of games that are being played. This new Club World Cup sounds absolutely nonsense as well.
Yeah.
And then obviously, Sean was saying about the Nations League as well. It's
Mm.
just pointless games and like
The whole thing is
international break.
Yeah. There was something else actually. Are you good for time, Doug, and everything? Yeah.
Yeah.
There was actually one last thing that I got sent earlier on as well by Gav. Gav sends me stuff all the time when I can't keep up to date with it all and everything like that. Basically, he said that the Super League is reportedly going to debut next year. This is from a report in Spain. The CEO of the Super League has said that we are studying new technologies and the business model built on them because we believe that football fans deserve a better and more affordable experience on their screens. And it's basically reported to be going ahead next year.
What a
I
load
know,
of bollocks.
I know. Like, what do you... I don't even know, guys, what to say with this, to be fair. Do you think that Liverpool would risk going back into it? Do you reckon?
No.
No.
No, I don't.
Oh.
I'll tell you why. The backlash that the 6 clubs received when they supposedly signed this was huge. So I think if they did threaten to go back into it, then I think that would be probably FSG's doing. So no, I can't see a way that we go back into that thing. I think we made a stupid mistake to go into it in the first place, and I think they're still sort of regretting that decision already. But for me, nah, we're not going to go back into that. Leave that to the Real Madrids and Barcelonas of this world.
Yeah, but I mean, Doug, you're forgetting that FSG are in cahoots with the Glaziers with this project Big Picture. They're good buddies, and I reckon that you see FSG with what they've done with the PGA, with this breakaway league in Saudi Arabia or whatever, which is pretty much very similar to the Super League, and it's frowned upon and what have you. So we know that this is very much something that they could very much get back into. I think they may test the waters again. I know that there was a re-emergence of it last year before the formation of the new Champions League, which I'm not a big fan of, if I'm honest. I don't understand it. I don't get it. And I don't want to get it. But I think I could see FSG, and I'm not just saying this because I have a bone of contention with FSG. I'd rather they didn't, because I think we were left with massive egg on our face. I don't think there was as much as an upheaval as there should have been, because they knew by originally going in for this what it meant for Liverpool and the Premier League. Because when they signed up to buying a football club in the Premier League, they knew that they couldn't go and make a breakaway Super League. And yet they tried. They tried to do that without talking to the players, without talking to Klopp. And a big 2 fingers to Liverpool and its history and its legacy. So I wouldn't put it past John W. Henry, Tom Warner, and Mike Gordon. I really wouldn't. But I'd say that they'll kind of sit back, they'll have a look at what's happening, and then they may join at a later stage. Who knows?
Yeah. I'll just touch on Bond's comment here. Bond reckons that if City are found guilty, they will join it. With the
if City are found guilty, they'll join the Super League. Oh, yeah. Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
I don't think that they would be the first ones to do it. I don't think they'd be the ones to jump into it straight away. I think if there's a few other clubs that do from England jump in, then yeah, they won't want to be left behind. They'll want to be involved. Blah blah blah. Yeah, I don't think they'll jump in say straight away for the first season, but I guess if it takes off and it's successful, and there's other clubs in England that decide to go and do it, then yeah, I think they would 100%. Yeah.
Well, I guarantee you'll probably see United, biting off the hand of the Super League, because they're muck at the moment, and I reckon if they can guarantee themselves Europe every year based on their legacy, then I think they'll definitely put themselves in for it. Definitely put themselves in for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of agree with that, to be fair as well. So I guess probably coming towards the end of the stream, guys, unless there's anything else you want to talk about. I mean, we could always I think we spoke about transfers earlier on. Doug, you mentioned you reckon like a left back could be something to look for in the January. I guess one last question for you both. Do you think we revisit Zubimendi in January?
No, I don't. I actually think he ends up at City.
Yeah, I've seen that doing the rounds with the Rodri injury. Yeah. I don't know, like if he's supposed to be so loyal to Real Sociedad, I can't see him leaving mid-season. I just can't.
There's no such thing as players being loyal to the club. I guarantee you. It's the same with our own players. If they don't see ambition, if they don't see like some sort of ambition that they want to succeed here and now, these players will up and leave. There's no such thing as loyalty or loyal players anymore. He may want to be in Spain or whatever. That sounds all well and good, but I guarantee you, I don't want Zubimendi. I don't think, I think once he's turned us down, that's it.
I know that's how you are with it. I don't know. I just think there's a bit more nuance behind it all with the whole Zubimendi thing. Like, I think he wanted to move to Liverpool. I think he wanted to come to Liverpool. But I think Real Sociedad basically put the foot down and said, if you want to go to Liverpool, then you're going to be the one that comes out and tells all the fans that you wanted to move to Liverpool. And then he kind of like went, all right, then, dumb.
He's a professional footballer. Of course, I mean,
You got to think though as well, Seano. Like, he's been there his whole career. It'd basically be like Steven Gerrard leaving Liverpool, which I know he came very close to doing, and he did eventually do. But it would be like them type of players like leaving his boyhood club, the club that he supports. So I don't know. I don't think he comes in. I don't think we go back in January. But
no, I think that
I think Ryan Gravenberch is doing amazingly well. And even if we did go in and sign Zubimendi in January, he would have to play out of his skin to get that shirt off of Ryan. I would not be. He's one at first named on team sheet for me, in all fairness. So yeah. I guess we'll leave it there then, guys. Thanks everyone for joining. Thanks, Doug, for coming on with us. I'm going to just put your link to your channel in the chat now, guys. Please go and subscribe to Doug. You said how many did you say you were off? 3K?
13, I think. 13.
Right. There's 18 of you guys watching this right now. I need 13 of you to go over to Doug's channel and subscribe to get him over to that 3K mark. And you'll let me know if it happens. So yeah, there's the link to Doug's channel there. Is there anything else you want to shout out, Seano, before we get off?
Well, just obviously the Facebook group that we have, Adam Naylor LFC, give it a like, and also our paid subscription, $2.99, which is basically, it's not even a cup of tea, is it really, in England? Is it
not nowadays now.
No, not nowadays, but I mean it's look, $2.99, but we've got some fantastic things in store, and the ball is now in motion. We've been talking to a third party where we've got some fantastic ideas, and we're going to be talking to other people, and yeah.
Nice. Doug, any last words from you before we get off, mate?
Just as a big thank you for having me, and I feel very honoured that I'm your first guest of this channel. So no, thank you very much for having me. It's been a pleasure. It's been nice to sort of rekindle sort of memories of obviously Sven's day at Anfield. So no, thank you very much.
No, of course, mate. You can come back on whenever you want and just drop us a DM again on X or whatever. And if you want to come on and do like a match preview or review, anything like that, just let us know, mate, and we'll start doing it. We're going to start doing a fair few more things on this channel now that I'm getting used to doing this whole live thing. But yeah, thanks again for coming on, mate. It's been really good having you on, and it's having someone else to talk to rather than just Seano that keeps dropping in and out all the time.
Okay. No.
Charmin.
No.
Yeah, you want to hear him on Scott's health and fitness. He was like, so Adam, what's it like with the partnership with Seano and Martin? Yeah, it's all right, I guess. It's like, fuck me. And then he goes on to say, you know, Seano just doesn't know when to stop. So, you know, I'm exhausted. And I could be wanting to finish in an hour, and we could be 2 hours into the bloody thing, and Sean's still talking. So I mean,
it's all just laughs, mate. It's all just laughs. Right
It's
then,
all
guys,
banter
thanks
at
for
the end of the
joining. We've got Scott already saying that he's been able to subscribe to you, Doug. So hopefully you've got a few.
Thank
more
you,
there as
Scott.
well.
Appreciate it.
So yeah, thanks for everyone watching. We're back again. At some, I might do a preview show at some point this week, but I won't be doing a reaction show. That'll be down to Seano and Matt. Well, Seano, so Martin won't be doing it for us. But yeah, thanks for everyone watching, and we'll probably see you a little bit later on in the week. Bye, guys.
see you, folks.
And boom.